Well, ladies and gentlemen, inside the Oval and now live on the webcast, that was just super unfortunate. I may comment on it a little bit later, but I've never experienced this before, so therefore I went quiet inside the Oval. No need to say anything, play any music, give any shout-outs, and we hope that skater is okay. It sure looks serious, and I'll update you as I get information. So here's where we go from here. That was pairing number 9. Frank Roth and Cedric Brunet. We're going to move to the 10th pairing, but there will be a warm-up for this pairing with Yang Kun Zhao and Cooper Eamon. And then we will resume the final pairing before we have an ice resurfacing. So, our thoughts, hearts, and prayers go out to the skater that fell inside the warm-up lane. That's all we can do at this point in time. And if I have any updates and I'm able to share them with you, I will do so. We will let you know when we will resume momentarily. Okay, in terms of resuming the 500-meter men's final pairing with Yang Kun Zhao and Cooper Eamon, we will start this pairing at 11:15, 4 minutes from now. Now 3 minutes from now. I will introduce them with about 1 minute ahead of the start time. 11:15 restart after that medic break.
Racing will resume in 2 minutes. Skaters, hang on one more minute. We're just waiting for the medics. Short delay for medics.
The referees and the officials are not ready to resume the race. I'll give you updates more as I get them. It's 11:20 right now, and we're just making sure everything is in place before we resume the race. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have an update for you. It's 11:22. The final pair of the 500 meters we will add to the women's 1,500 meters at the beginning. So we will resume the racing at 12 noon. We'll do a nice resurfacing and come back for the final pairing of the men's 500 meters, the 10th pairing, and then the women's 1,500 meters ahead. So 12 noon for the 10th pairing of the 500 meters and 12:10, because we have to adjust the track, 12:10 for the women's 1,500 meters.
Test, test, test pulse. Racing will resume in 2 minutes.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 2-minute warning for the 10th and final pairing of the men's 500 meters featuring Yang-Kun Zhao and Cooper Eamon. I'll give them an official introduction momentarily. The whistle has sounded. Let me introduce to you these two skaters, the 10th and final pairing of the men's 500 meters. This is the last of the 500 meter sprint. There are two of them. In the inside lane from the province of Alberta, Yang-Kun Zhao. And in the outer lane from the province of Nova Scotia, Cooper Eamon. Good luck, gentlemen.
Go to the start. Ready.
We're going to do that one again.
False start, outer lane, not stable. Go to the start. ready.
And we're off. The 10th and final pairing, Cooper Eamon and Yankun Zhao. Zhao in the inner lane. Opening time for Zhao is 9:85. For Cooper Eamon, 9:90. These are the 4th and 5th seeds of the top 30 sprinters male sprinters in Canada, as they now have headed down the back stretch, crossed lanes, and now heading to the straightaway. Lots of support and screaming inside this oval. Crossing the line first will be Cooper Eamon at a time of 35:37. Yankun Zhao at 35:38. As soon as the starter gun goes off and the race starts, it's that quick, it's over within 35 seconds or so. So we now, at 12:02 Mountain Time, pause and resume the 1,500-meter women's race. Not resume, but we will start that race, but resume racing in general in 8 minutes' time at 12:10. We have a few minutes before we start the 1,500-meter women's race. I want to take an opportunity to give shout-outs to a number of people that make this
testing
meet
1
work
2
behind the
testing
scenes.
1 2 test shot.
Let's start with the meet coordinator, Greg Plenart, who's been doing this a number of years. Timing and IT specialist, John Little. Team lead up here in the timing deck, Dustin Miller. Our referees are numerous at this event. It is the National Long Track Championships. Chief referee for the entire competition, Moika Stoffel from Saskatchewan, who's also chief referee for the men's. The referee for the women's is Rick Hunt from Ontario, and assisting them both from Nova Scotia, all the way from Nova Scotia's Brent Thompson. Additional referees assisting, Rona Hathaway, Dave Thompson, Bruce Thorpe, Eureka Boyce, Kendra Hawkins, and Werner Meyer. Our starters all 4 days have been Mark Poulin, starting the women's, and the men's, Blair Toblin. They're ISU starters, but assisting them is Brad Bates, Jill Marks, and John Mueller. Our Speed Skating Canada competition steward is Sue Steckley. Other officials, Mark Wild, our Long Track High Performance Director and Chair, Long Track High Performance Coordinator, Tyler Melcock. Speed Skating Canada on-site rep, Jill Lynch, and for Safe Sports, Speed Skating Canada, Alex Proulx. Up in the timing deck, we give homage to Eugene
Skaters,
Ewan
2 minutes to start. 2 minutes
and
to
Dave
start.
Standish, Mike Dallaire on the webcast as well. Media, the medics from Can West, Thomas Lee and Asif Latif. And the CEO of Speed Skating Canada is in the house, Joe Morissette. Hello, Joe. And a shout out to all the front desk staff, Stephanie, Ari, Lily, Yvonne, and Katie for the great work that they do. So those are and Sean Ireland, let's not forget Sean Ireland, also assisting up here in the timing deck. So that's the crew that makes this event work so smoothly behind the scenes here at the 2023 Canadian National Long Track Championships. We are at the 2-minute warning, starting the 1,500 meters, which is in the northwest side, finishing right in front of the timing deck. I'll introduce the first pairing in 1 moment. Introducing the first pairing of 13 pairings in the 1,500 meters in the inside lane from the province of Quebec, Sandrine Levesque, and in the outer lane from the province of Alberta, Caitlin Pelkey. Good luck, skaters.
Go to the start. Ready.
Here we go, 1,500 meters, 3 3/4 laps around a 400-meter track. The opening time we'll look at is 300 meters in length, and then after that it's 3 full laps. Keep an eye on the lap times as the skaters are going to look to hold the lap times as low as possible. So our opening 300 meters in this race, Caitlin Pelkey in at 28.54, Sandrine Levesque at 28.64. Levesque from Quebec, Pelkey from Calgary, Alberta, as they now start their journey to finish off the final 3 laps in what is considered the most grueling distance in the long track sport of speed skating, a marathon sprint. There is strategies behind the race. You don't want to go out too quickly and have nothing left at the end, and you don't want to go out too slow to leave something back on the ice. So the coaches and the skaters will plot their strategy. So you might see 2 to 3 seconds difference from lap 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. That third and final lap is the most difficult. And the bell lap has gone on for Levesque and Pelkey. And whatever they can muster up for the final 400 meters, a test of physical and mental abilities in the sport of long track speed skating. It's always a great gauge to see where a skater is at in terms of this race. Crossing the line first with the season's best is Caitlin Pelkey. Also, Sandrine Levesque also clocks in a season's best of 2:12.44. There are 13 pairings, but there will be no pairing in number 5. So skaters in pairing 6, 7, 8, be aware of that. We're going to go from pairing 4 to pairing number 6. In the second pair in the inside lane from the province of Manitoba, Skylar Van Horn. And in the outer lane from Quebec, Emmanuel Cote.
Go to the start. Ready.
The starter's voice you hear is International Skating Union, or ISU starter Marc Poulin, a veteran starter of over a decade. Started off Skylar Van Horn and Emmanuel Cote. Cote from Quebec City. Skylar Van Horn from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Opening times, Cote, 27:51. Van Horn at 27:61. Both skaters enjoy the 1,500 meters. This is something they want to specialize in and look to develop. Van Horn, his father was a skater on the Canadian national team and a manufacturer of the Van Horn skates. Lives and breathes the sport of speed skating. Skylar Van Horn from Winnipeg, Manitoba. And Cote from Quebec City has been skating now about 11 years. And as I mentioned earlier, 1,500 meters is one of her favorite races, and one of the things she wants to work on is her mental strength. Well, she picked the right race for that because the 1,500 meters will allow her to do just that. 3 3/4 laps around a 400-meter oval. Bell lap has gone on for Cote and Van Horn as they now take the last lap and see if they can sprint to the finish. Van Horn is the 19th seed. Cote the 24th seed. Down the back stretch they just complete, crossing the lanes as they head into the straightaway with whatever they have left. You can see him on the screen now, and you can see him in the oval and crossing the line first with a season's best of 2:07.18 is Emmanuel Cote. 2:08.34 is Skylar Van Horn's time. In the third pairing from the province of British Columbia in the inside lane is Kirsten Hagen. And in the outer lane from the province of Nova Scotia, Julia Stelgrove.
Go to the start. Ready.
You're watching pair number 3 of 13, in case you've just joined us on the webcast or walked inside the beautiful Calgary Olympic Oval. This is the women's 1,500-meter race, 3 3/4 laps around at the Canadian National Long Track Championships. You're seeing the 18th and the 20th seed time skater. Opening time for Snellgrove, 27:47. A short tracker and ringette player from the East Coast that's looking to lay down or has laid down some very low times and continues to do so. Kirsten Hagen, 29:41 for her. This is Snellgrove's first year of junior eligibility. Fully expect her to be in Quebec City the first weekend of January if she wants to compete for the Canadian Junior Long Track Championships and make the junior national team that's going to be competing in Japan in February for our country. Last year it was Innsbruck, Germany. So Hagen's from Burnaby, BC. He's been skating now for, well, probably 20 years. Loves the 3,000 and 5,000 more than she certainly does the 1,500. But as I mentioned earlier, the 1,500 meter is a medal tester physically and emotionally. Kirsten Hagen from the province of British Columbia. And Julia Snellgrove from Nova Scotia. Bell lap has gone off for both. As they make their way around the oval with about 300 meters left. As you see Coach Phil Riopel and Coach Mike Ireland in the coaches' boxes. Coaches' box, I should say, giving the skaters encouragement and final instructions. Snellgrove is going to look like she's going to cross the line first. And she crosses the line with a time of 2:06.63. And Hagen with a season's best for her at 2:10.89. We now move to the fourth pairing in the inside lane from Ontario, Claire Mallard. And in the outer lane from Quebec, Loré Caillé.
Go to the start. Ready.
Claire Mallard has a seed time of 2:04.72. That puts her in the 16th seed in the 1,500 meters women's at the championships. Caillet's right behind her at the 17th seed at 2:05 and change. The seed times generally are the personal best. Those are times achieved between July 1st, 2022 and to about the end of September of this year. That's how you get seeded at the Canadian National Championships. Caillet's opener time is 28:08 and Mallard in at 28:31. Lori Caillet is from Levi, Quebec. And while this isn't her favorite distance, it helps her for her 3,000 and her 5,000. She'd love to make the next gen team and wants to give a shout out to her mom Chantel. I think I mentioned that earlier. As you watch both skaters come into the screen, Caillet is wearing the red armband in the Canadian suit and Claire Mallard in the white armband in the oval color suit. Around 2:05, I'll have my eye on the clock to see if they come close to their personal best and their seed times. Mallard is a student at the University of Calgary and Laval for Lori Caillet, as it looks like Caillet is catching a bit of draft off Mallard. He'll take any help you can get inside the 1,500 meter. A very challenging, probably arguably the most difficult distance to race, a marathon sprint. Here comes Caillet. She crosses the line first, starting in the inside lane, finishes in the outer, finishes in the inner. Personal best, 2:02.73 and 2:03.77. Personal best for both Claire Mallard and Lori Caillet. Excellent races. They're happy with that, as are their coaches. There will be no pairing number 5. We move to pairing number 6, and in the inside lane from the province of Quebec, Rosanne Grenier taking the inside lane, and in the outer lane from the province of Alberta, Darby Beeson.
Go to the start. Ready.
Now we'll put the music on. Pairing number 6 in the inside lane, Rosanne Grenier. She will finish in the outer lane. It's a reverse after 3 3/4 laps. Darby Beeson, starting in the outer, will finish in the inner. Opening time for Grenier, 27:58. Opening 300-meter time for Darby Beeson, 28:52. Now they settle in and go as fast as possible in their 3 laps that's remaining. Rosanne Grenier from Ste. Marie, Quebec. This is one of her specialty distances, as is with Darby Beeson, who is a former inliner and short tracker. Beeson represented her country in Insel, Germany at the World Junior Championships and the 3rd Junior World Cup in Insel, Germany. Has at least 2 more years of eligibility. Grenier would be around 24 years old. Darby Beeson, 17 years old. Bell lap has gone on for both of these skaters. See Coach Todd McClements and Coach Munsif Uwade encouraging their skaters on as Grenier comes out of the corner first, down the straightaway with the white armband and the Canadian suit, pushing, striding, gliding, and gracefully. Cheered on by her teammates and a season's best. 2 minutes on the nose. 2 minutes, 70.2 seconds. And Darby Beeson, 2:04.06. I'll get it right yet. Season's best for both of them. In the 7th pairing in the inside lane from the province of British Columbia, Abigail McCluskey. And in the outer lane from the province of Quebec, Gabrielle Jelinek.
Go to the start. Ready.
We will do that all over again.
False start, inner lane, not stable. Go to the start. Ready.
The time to beat will be 2 minutes, 0.72 seconds, and that is owned right now by Rosanne Grenier. We will be crowning a new 1,500-meter female champion as Yvonne Blondin is taking a pass on this race as she's already been pre-selected to compete at the World Cup in the 1,500 meters because she placed in the top 5 in Heerenveen back earlier this year at the World Speed Skating Championships. She was 4th. So congratulations, Yvonne. Opening time for McCluskey, 26:78. The pride and joy of Penticton, BC. From Quebec City, Gabrielle Jelinek, 27:64. Gabrielle Jelinek, a mass start specialist. That is her favorite. And I think this may be her first single distance race of the meet, although I do stand corrected. And Chloe Jelinek is her sister, and she competed at the Junior World Championships. Had a chance to meet her when we were over in Innsel, Germany. And so the Jelineks are synonymous with the sport of speed skating, as her dad, Gregor Jelinek, is the national team coach for long track speed skaters in Quebec City. So the bell lap has gone off for Abigail McCluskey from Penticton and Gabrielle Jelinek from Quebec City. McCluskey's been skating for, wow, 13, 14 years, and Jelinek since the age of 7. So these two skaters are veteran skaters in both hockey early on and now speed skating. So here comes Abigail McCluskey down the straightaway, pushing, striding, crossing the line with a season's best of 1:59.61, which is now the time to beat. Here comes Jelinek. She crosses the line with a season's best of 2:05.26. So season's best for McCluskey and Jelinek in pairing number 7. We now move to the 8th pairing in the inside lane from BC, Allison Desmarais. And in the outer lane from Alberta, Laura Hall.
Go to the start. Ready.
And we're off. Pair 8 of 13. BC, Alberta on the ice right now. Allison Desmarais from Vanderhoof, BC, now living in Calgary. The 1,500 meter is her specialty and most favorite race in the single distances. She has the fastest opening 300 meters at this point, 26:21. Laura Hall, 27.6 for the 6th fastest opener. Laura Hall, a middle to long distance specialist and an up-and-comer in the women's national long track scene. Desmarais has been around for a number of years and also loves to branch out and do some coaching, which he gets a chance, and was out at Halifax at the Canada Winter Games assisting her province. So awesome that she's considering the coaching beyond the years she's skating. But right now, it's all business on the ice for Desmarais and Hall, who's from Salmon Arm, BC. University of Calgary student, biomedical engineering student. That's Laura Hall. That's what she's taking while she trains and competes in the sport of speed skating. We're going to get a bell lap here in a moment, and we do. Two skaters that names are very familiar with in the speed skating community in long track. They both train out of the Calgary Olympic Oval. You see Coach Remmelt Elderling and Shannon Rempel assisting each of the skaters as their coach. We're crowning a new champion this year. Even London has taken a pass as she's been pre-selected for the World Cup. As Desmarais strides to the finish line, and she does so with a time of 1:59.51, takes top spot. Laura Hall will take the 3rd position at 2 minutes, 0.5 seconds. We now move to the 9th pairing in the inside lane from the province of Ontario, Isabelle Weideman. And in the outer lane from the province of Quebec, Valerie Malte.
Go to the start. Ready.
And we're off. Pair number 9 of 13, Isabelle Weideman and Valerie Malte. The time to beat, the position to dethrone. Allison Desmarais, Abigail McCluskey, and Laura Hall hold positions 1, 2, and 3. Malte and Weideman, future Hall of Famers, in my opinion, on the ice. Medalists at the Olympics and World Cups in team pursuits, and in Isabel's case, in individual distances. Opening times, Malte in at 26:33, 27:06 for Weideman. Friends and colleagues and teammates off the ice, and when they're in the team pursuit, on the ice. But now it's all business between Malte and Weideman. Nice, smart, but when it comes to competing, they're no strangers to a game face on the ice. They both want to get the lowest possible time. Who's going to be the 1,500 meter new champion at the Canadian Speed Skating Long Track Championships here in Calgary? Take a look at the lap times in the 28-second range for Weideman and Malte. Malte is slightly ahead of Weideman. Let's see if Weideman answers back and close that gap. Bell lap for both of them. Lap time was very similar, almost identical now. So now they both dig. Weideman is definitely catching some draft off Malte. There is no question, and that's a 50-meter draft catch for her. Let's see if that helps her. She comes out of the corner along with Malte as they head down the straightaway, being cheered on by all their colleagues in the oval. You can hear it up here in the timing deck. Malte will cross the line first with a season's best of 1:55.60. That's the time to beat. Weideman clocks in at 1:56.16. Season best for both of them. They both take the first and second position at this point. We now move to the 10th pairing in the inside lane from the province of Quebec, Beatrice Lamarche. And in the outer lane from the province of Alberta, Madison Pearman.
Go to the start. Ready.
And we're off. Pair 10 of 13, Beatrice Lamarche from Quebec, Madison Pearman from Ponoka, Alberta. Lamarche is the third seed of the 1,500 meter women's, and Pearman is the fourth seed. Entering the first corner, several corners, 3 3/4 laps around a 400 meter track. Let's have a look at their opening time. The fastest opener so far is Lamarche at 25:81. Malte holds the top spot. Does this mean Lamarche might challenge her for that spot? Second fastest is Pearman at 26:03, so not sure if Weideman and Malte and Demaray's positions are safe in this pairing with that opener. Let's see what happens. They're both holding faster times than the previous pairing. If they can hold it here, they may look to dislodge Malte and Weideman and Demaray in the top 1, 2, and 3 positions. This is a grueling distance. It is a marathon sprint, the toughest, or arguably the toughest in the sport of speed skating. So this is them going down the straightaway, heading north Calgary, and the bell lamp has gone off. Times edging up. That's to be expected because of fatigue. Can they pull it together? Can they get close to their personal best? Lamarche in, I'm looking at 106, 157 rather for her. And Pearman around 157.25. So let's keep an eye on that for Lamarche and Pearman as they head down the straightaway. Here they go. Beatrice Lamarche, Madison Pearman, everything they got crossing the line. Let's see what happens. Season's best for Lamarche, taking the third position, 159.09, and a season's best for Pearman, 159.32. Exciting race. In the 11th pairing in the inside lane from the province of Saskatchewan, Ella Cloutier. And in the outer lane from the province of Quebec, Ariane Fournier.
Go to the start. Ready.
So Valerie Malte holds on to the top spot with her time, and then Isabel Weideman in the second spot, and Beatrice LaMarche in the third spot with 3 pairings to go. But regardless, we will be crowning a new women's champion in the 1,500 meters here at the Canadian Long Track Championships in Calgary, Alberta. 28:13, Marianne Fournier in her opening time. Ella Cloutier, 28:52. Cloutier's wearing the white armband, but easy to tell because she's from Saskatchewan, wearing the Saskatchewan colors in that skin suit that where she represented her province at the Canada Winter Games. And Ariane Fournier also competed at the Canada Winter Games for her province, and she's wearing the fleur-de-lis colors. Both are wearing the colors that they wore and competed with at the Canada Winter Games. Both medaled. Rather, Fournier medaled, and Cloutier had a breakout meet coming fourth in one of her distances, basically saying, I got this, and let's see how she fares as she catches a bit of draft down the backstretch off Fournier. Always can welcome that draft to reduce some of the resistance, especially in this distance, but in any distance for that matter. When you get down to these times, every little bit helps. So bell lap has gone off for Ella Cloutier and Ariane Fournier. Cloutier in the Saskatchewan colors, Fournier in the Quebec colors. The times we'll be looking at as they head around the final corner to the straightaway and finishing line is 2:06.5 for Cloutier. Fournier in around 2:10. Well, they may be separated on the ice at this point. It comes down to them competing against the clock. They just help each other get the lowest times. So here comes Cloutier, straight away, pushing, gliding, striding with the last few meters and energy she has left. 2:07.62 for Ella Cloutier from Saskatchewan, and a season's best for Ariane Fournier at 2:11.94. We now move to the second last pairing, the 12th pairing in the inside lane from Manitoba, Robin Solly. And in the outer lane from Saskatchewan, Serena Dallaire.
Go to the start. Ready.
If you've just joined us, we're the 12th of 13 pairing in the women's 1,500 meter race, long track race here at Calgary Olympic Oval in Calgary, Alberta. Robin Solly and Serena Dallaire. Manitoba and Saskatchewan on the ice. I mentioned a lot about Canada Winter Games. We have 56 skaters from the Canada Winter Games that have, we have that 56 skaters of alumni from Canada Winter Games. We have some 30 skaters, 26 skaters rather, that skated in Halifax in February. Solly's opening time, who had a personal best in the 1,000 meters, 28:64 for her opening 300 meters, and Serena Dallaire 28:63. So now they settle in to finish off their last 2 laps, 32.5 or so seconds for this lap. You will see increases in time by approximately 2 seconds or so, give or take. Maybe even longer from laps 2 to 3. It's just, that's how much this distance and this particular discipline fatigues the skater. A marathon sprint for the skaters, the 1,500 meters between Solly and Dallaire. Manitoba and Saskatchewan on the ice, neighboring provinces. Let's see what happens. Can Solly muster up another personal best? Taking a look at their seed times, 2:09.31 for Solly. Dallaire, 2:09 and change. So I'm keeping an eye on the 2:09, 2:10 number. That's what we're going to be looking at. Around the final corner, now down the straightaway. Pushing, striding, gliding with everything they've got. Cheered on by their fellow skaters. Crossing the line first will be Serena Dallaire with a time of 2:12.32, and Solly right next to her at 2:12.48. We move the 13th and final pairing of the women's 1500 meters in the inside lane from the province of Ontario, Rachel Mallard. And in the outer lane from the province of Quebec, Camille Chambet.
Go to the start. Ready.
So the positions to beat. I'm looking on the screen. I see Valerie Malte in the top spot. Unofficially, it's hers. Isabelle Weideman in the second position, and Beatrice Lamarche in the third position. We will be crowning a new champion in the 1500 meters, as Evanie Blondin has passed on this race and is pre-selected to represent her country in the World Cup, as that's one of the ways to get into representing your country. Opening time right now, 28:12 for Camille Tremblay. And Rachel Mallard from Ontario, 29:02. The Mallard family from Ottawa, Ontario. I see Liz and Bob in attendance. They're here out visiting their daughters. They can have lots of speed skating conversations over the Thanksgiving turkey in terms of the times and the races and dissecting them. That's usually what speed skating families do. So I'm told, or so I'm living out. Pair 13 of 13, the final pairing in the women's 1500 meters. Rachel Mallard from Ontario, Camille Tremblay from Quebec. The time we'll be looking at between the two, around 2:08 for Rachel, and Camille around 2:10, 2:11. So let's see if they can hold to these seed times. Most of these seed times are their personal bests, and they were achieved in March at the end of the season. So for some of them, it's going to be hard to get personal bests because it's so early in the season. They're just getting going, some of these skaters, and some of them don't need to peak until later on in the year, especially the juniors. Peaking time is around January, end of December, January, as you see Camille Tremblay on the screen right now. Rather, Rachel Mallard, I should say. Rachel Mallard with a time of 2:09.59 and 2:19.58 for Camille Tremblay. So that completes the 1500 meter women's at the Canadian Long Track Championship. I'm going to get your attention, have you turn your attention to the big screen in the oval as the results will come up for the 24 skaters. We know that the top positions unofficially are Malte, Weideman, and Lamarche. We'll have a look at those times. There we go. 1:55.60 for Malte, a nice close-up with the camera. Weideman 1:56.16 and Lamarche at 1:59.08. There's Madison Pearman in the fourth position, 1:59.32. And Allison Desmarais, 1:59.51. So up on the screen we go. We're going to see it momentarily. And here we go. There's the top 8 times. Malte, Weideman, Lamarche, Pearman, Desmarais, McCluskey, Hall, and Grenier. There's the top 8, and then you'll see it flip over. We're going to see a total of 24 skaters. You can get a good look at the times. Basically, times from about 1:56, ranging all the way to around the 2:12, 2:13 range. 2:19 range, I take that back. We are going to take a break now. It's 12:46 Mountain Time. We will resume the final set of races of today. It's the men's 1,500 meters. We will hand out both the women's and the men's podium awards after the men's 1,500 meters. We will put them together. So stick around after the 1,500 meters. We have a good idea unofficially who it is for the women, crowning a new champion in Canada for this distance. Let's see what kind of drama and action plays out for the men's 1,500 meters. We'll see you at 1:20 Mountain Time.
Test, test, test pulse. Men's 1500s will be starting in 2 minutes.
This is the 2-minute warning leading up to 1:20 start with the men's 1500 meter race. We have 14 pairings and 27 skaters. Stay tuned for the introduction of the first pairing in about 1 minute. Welcome back to the Canadian National Long Track Championships here at Calgary, Alberta at the Calgary Olympic Oval. We're now about to watch 14 pairings in the men's 1500 meters. In the first pairing in the inside lane from the province of Manitoba, Ryan Kulbacki. And in the outer lane from the province of Ontario, Emile Audict Center. Good luck, gentlemen.
Go to the start. Ready.
14 pairings. This is the first of 14. We have 27 skaters. Manitoba and Ontario on the ice. I'll start. We'll do it all over again once everything is settled and ready to go.
False start, inner lane, crossing the line. Go to the start. Ready.
Has proven to let's look at their opening 300 meter time. 24:78 for Neil, 25:17 for Kubaki. As they settle in now for the remainder of 3 laps, or now 2 and a bit. In this marathon sprint, Neil Hoddak Sanchez, Richmond from Halifax, but ultimately based out of Ottawa, saw the Olympics back in 2010 and wanted to pursue the sport and did and did. And 1,500 meters was one of his specialties. And a University of Calgary student, just like Ryan Kubaki. Kubaki, a second-year student from Manitoba, has seemed to adjusted well in the first year, where a dozen first-timers are now here in Calgary on the other program, and leaving the nest of their parents and less responsibility, does take on additional challenges to both train and compete while studying and training with the game of life. But Kubaki is seems to be punching in personal best and winning his distances. And here we are watching Kubaki and Hodzik Cantor. It'll be very interesting crossing the line first. Kubaki will get a time of 1:49.86 and Hodzik Cantor a time of 1:51.39. We now move to the second pairing in the inside lane from the province of Alberta. Yank moves now. And in the outer lane, also from the province of Alberta, Max Poulin.
Go to the start. Ready.
I've talked a lot about the Canada Winter Games this year, or rather this meet, because 26 skaters in the meet competed in Halifax. They competed in 26 skaters that have competed in this meet. Of the 107 competed in the 2023 Halifax Canada Winter Games. And on the ice right now, Max Poulin and Yank moves down. Max competed as a short track, 402. hear the bell lap was second in the 2023. Poulin was fifth. In 2022, the juniors couldn't go over to Austria and compete because of COVID, but they certainly did in Insel, Germany, as they get their final instructions. Now and Poulin down the back stretch. The white armband is James down. Red armband is Matt Poulin. Being cheered on by their fellow skaters inside the oval. Here they come. Down the straightaway. Crossing the line first with the season's best is 150.41 is Yang Kun Zhao. Right behind him, Max Poulin, 151.91 for a season's best for him. We now move to the third pairing in the inside lane from the province of Alberta, Jalen Doan. And in the outer lane from the province of Quebec, Laurent Debray.
Go to the start. Ready.
And we're off. Pairing number 3. Jalen Doan and Laurent Debray. Laurent Debray, no stranger to the sport of speed skating. Speed skating royalty in the country. Olympian, Olympic medalist, World Cup podium finisher many, many times. Won the 500. Will be competing for the World Cup again. Jalen Doan, coming back to compete for the juniors, was 4th in the world in the 500. Very fast skater. Bright, bright future. They're both really 500 and 1,000 meter specialists. But as I've mentioned before, the 1,500 meter is a test, a physical and a mental test for any skater. 3 3/4 lap around, marathon sprint. Debray is holding the top time with a bell lap. Jalen Doan, 3rd fastest time. May not look like these skaters are going that fast on TV. They certainly are in the oval. It's deceiving because the technique, the better the technique, the fitter the athlete, the faster they go, the easier it looks. It's effortless. Marathon sprint with Debray coming down the straightaway. A good conditioner for him. Debray will cross the line with a time to beat with a season's best 148.82, 151.38 for Jalen Doan, taking the 4th position. In the 4th pairing in the inside lane from the province of Saskatchewan, Luca Vieman, and in the outer lane from Alberta, Daniel Hall.
Go to the start. Ready.
Pair 4 of 14 on the ice, Vieman and Hall. Again, 2 skaters that represented their country at the Junior World Cup number 3 and the Junior World Cup Championships in Insel, Germany. Daniel Hall, a long-distance specialist. Luca Vieman, all-round skater at this point. Both attended the Canada Winter Games. Vieman with a medal haul, 5 medals. He walked out of Halifax, or skated out of Halifax. Hall got a couple of medals, and Hall got a silver medal in the mass start in Insel, Germany. Exciting race. Opening time for Luca Vieman, 24:28. Daniel Hall, 24:75 for the 4th and 5th best times. Let's have a look at their seed time that got him into this competition. 16th seed, Luca Vieman, 148.75. So let's see if he comes close to that. 148. 149 for him, and Hall around 148.60. They're both very, very close. Daniel Hall, the 14th seed. Both teammates representing their country, and both have another opportunity to earn that right in January at Quebec City at the Canadian Junior National Championships. As you see, Veman has a slight edge on Hall, rounding the second last corner with 300 meters to go. Getting the coach's instructions from Todd McClements and Coach Kevin Crockett. Here comes Veman, who started in the inside lane. He's going to finish in the outer lane, stretching it out. Have a look at his times. Is he going to be close to 1:49? Crossing the line, and he does, ladies and gentlemen. A personal best for Luca Veman, 1:48.32. 1:49.36 for Daniel Hall. In the fifth pairing in the inside lane from the province of Ontario, Hayden Mailleux. And in the outer lane from Alberta, Max Halleck.
Go to the start. Ready.
Both skaters are wearing the Canadian Maple Leaf skin suits. So who is who? Mailleux from Ontario is the white armband. Will finish in the outer. Opening time for Mailleux is 24.32. For Halleck, 24.22. Halleck is wearing the red armband. Halleck will finish in the inside lane, Mailleux in the outer lane. Now they look to lay down the lowest lap times they possibly could do in the 3 laps of the 1,500 meters, which is 3 and 3 laps, or 3 3/4 laps rather, around the 400-meter track. That's 13 meters wide, with each lane 4 meters and the warm-up lane being 5 meters. Mailleux catching a bit of draft for Halleck on the back stretch, just a bit. Every skater should take advantage of that if they can. We're going to get a bell lap here in a moment as you see both of these skaters pushing and striding. Fire on ice, ladies and gentlemen, with these skaters pushing and striding and gliding with grace around the ice. You see him come out of the final corner on the camera or inside the oval. Hayden Mailleux, Max Halleck crossing the line with the season's best for both of them, actually. Halleck at 1:46.53 and Mailleux 1:46.84. In the sixth pairing in the inside lane from the province of Manitoba, Joel Simpson. And in the outer lane from the province of Alberta, Caleb Mueller.
Go to the start. Ready.
Simpson from Manitoba, Mueller from Alberta. Both long distance specialists as opposed to the 1,500 meter. But again, it's a testament of time. Simpson's opening time, fourth best, 24:18. Joel's dad, Trent, and his uncle John are in attendance watching Joel race. Caleb Mueller, 25:06. I met the Mueller family down in the bleachers, got a selfie with them, and then took a picture of the Mueller family and the Grenier family, a combined force. So a big shout out to the Mueller and the Grenier family, and I can hear them from up here as they sit in the bleachers, so big supporters. Thank you for being here and supporting Caleb and the other skaters. It was a delight to take a picture of you with me in it, as well as just you. The Simpson family and the Mueller family are in the house, ladies and gentlemen, as we watch these two play out their 1,500 meters. Got a bell lap coming up here. And down the backstretch they go with Todd McClements and Munsif Awadi coaching both of these. The Quebec coach is coaching Caleb Mueller, who trains out of Quebec, and Joel Simpson is part of the Oval program in Calgary. Very close race indeed. Crossing the line first will be Caleb Mueller with a season's best of 1:48.24 and 1:48.42, a season's best for Joel Simpson. We now move to the 7th pairing in the inside lane from Ontario, Vincent Daitra. And in the outer lane from the province of Quebec, Hubert Mercade.
Go to the start. Ready.
Vincent Daitra, Hubert Mercade on the ice. Two very fast skaters. Vincent Daitra, a multi-sport athlete, cycling and speed skating. No stranger to competing, period. The end for him. Hubert Mercade, also a prolific skater. 23:55 opener for Daitra, the fastest opener so far. Hubert Mercade, the 5th fastest at 24:02. Daitra is from Ottawa, Ontario. Hubert Mercade is from Quebec City. I mentioned the Canada Winter Games. There's a couple of alumnus in attendance from the 2011 Winter Games, and Vincent Daitra being one of them in Halifax. Laurent Debray being another. Antoine Gelano-Bulliot is another, and so is Heather McLean and Isabel Weideman 12 years ago in Halifax. The CEO of Speed Skating Canada, Joe Morissette, helped with that venue in his then capacity, not related to speed skating, but somehow was connected to it and helped put that venue in place. And here he is now CEO of Speed Skating Canada. Vincent Daitra and Hubert Mercade as they head down the backstretch. The white armband is Vincent Daitra. And there's quite a distance between Daitra and Mercade. Vincent, 1:44 and change would be his seed time, and he's 1:45.53. And crossing the line, 1:52.26 will be Hubert Mercade. Season's best for both of those skaters. We move to the 8th pairing in the inside lane from the province of Ontario, Jake Weideman. And in the outer lane from Saskatchewan, Marc-André Doyon.
Go to the start. Ready.
Weideman and Doyon, Ontario and Saskatchewan, Ottawa and Moose Jaw on the ice right now. Both are 1,500-meter specialists. This is their favorite race to skate. God bless them. The opening time for Doyon, 24:24. Weideman in at 24:59. 1 3/4 lap into a 3 3/4 lap race with 2 laps to go. Keep an eye on the lap time. See what kind of distance how much it increases from where it is till now. We're probably looking at maybe a second and a half with the elite skaters at this level. As they come out of the south corner in the oval, head towards north, bell lap, and their lap times are about a second apart. Let's see if they can hold it. Seed time for these two skaters, Weideman 1:45 and change, and Doyon 1:40, just under 1:46. So that's what we'll be looking at, the 1:45, 1:46 time frame as they head down the backstretch, or rather out of the corner into the straightaway. Here they go with everything they got. This is not easy, ladies and gentlemen. Doyon will cross the line first at a 1:47.72. Weideman in at 1:48.06. That'll be a season's best for both these skaters. We now move to the 9th pairing in the inside lane from the province of Alberta, Connor Howe. And in the outer lane from the province of Quebec, David Laou.
Go to the start. Ready.
So as it stands right now, Vincent de Hydra, Max Halleck, and Hayden Mayer hold on to the 1, 2, and 3 position. However, this pairing has the top seed, Connor Howe, at a 1:42 and change, and David Laroux in the third. So the top 1 and 3rd seed, if they have a say in the matter, that deck in terms of placing is going to get shuffled. Opening time for Laroux, 23:56. Connor Howe, 23:65. Now they settle in. 1,500-meter specialist, these two, the top 1 and top 3rd seeds in the 1,500 meters. Coach Will Dutton in the coach's box. We're going to get a bell lap here in a moment as they get cheered on by those in the stands and their fellow skaters hanging over the mats. Here they go with about 300 meters to go. Munsi Fawade, Bart Scouten. Looks like Gregor Jelinek. 4 coaches in the coach's box for these two skaters, 2 from Quebec. Here we go. See how it turns out. Connor Howe wearing the white armband, cross line, a time of 1:43.13. And a season's best for Laroux, 1:44.66. We move to the 10th pairing in the inside lane from the province of Manitoba, Tyson Langlar. And in the outer lane from the province of Quebec, Antoine Gelano-Beaulieu.
Go to the start. Ready.
The time to beat is Connor Howe's. Connor Howe, David Laroux, and Vincent de Hydra. In this pairing, you got Antoine Gelano-Beaulieu and Tyson Langlar. This is the 2nd and 4th fastest seed times. Connor Howe is the defending champion. As you see, Antoine Gelano-Beaulieu clock in at 23:75. Antoine was silver medalist last year, and Tyson Langlar, the bronze medalist. So you're seeing last year's 2nd and 3rd place finisher at the Canadian National Championships on the ice right now. We're going to be looking for times of 1:44 to 1:45. 1:44 and a half would be perfect for these guys. But they'll be chasing down Connor Howe, David LaRue, and Vincent Haitra. As you see, Coach Will Dutton, Monzi Fawade, Bart Schouten, and Gregor Jelinek, 4 coaches in the coaches box assisting these elite skaters in our country. You're watching some of world's best right now, right on the ice. Canada's best and world's best. The bell lap has gone off. Beaulieu's holding on to the second position. Can he hang on? He would be dethroning David LaRue, Langlar in 5th. Can he pick it up and get back in that podium position that he held last year in number 3? Let's see what happens. Down the straightaway, Beaulieu goes. Here he comes. Crossing the line, he does so with a season's best of 143.82. Taking the second position, Langlar, 145.82 season's best, and now holding the 5th position. We move to the 11th pairing in the inside lane from Alberta, Zachary Lacroix, and in the outer lane from Ontario, Sebastian Champagne.
Go to the start. Ready.
Pair number 11 of 14 on the ice right now is Zachary Lacroix and Sebastian Champagne. Lacroix from Calgary, Alberta. Champagne from Brantford, Ontario. Lacroix's opening time, 24.19. Sebastian Champagne, 24.99. Champagne, something's happened as he rounded the corner, the third corner, coming down the backstretch, has pulled out and has slid off into the inside lane. Zachary Lacroix will finish this race by himself. Zachary Lacroix, white armband, blue outfit, 22 years old. His dad was a coach in the sport and introduced him. He loves the 500 and 1,000, so the 15 obviously would be a test for him, as it is for every single skater that takes it on. Zachary loves to downhill ski and mountain bike, as you hear the bell lap in the final lap. Some of the skaters have nicknames. Zachary Lacroix, he's called Zach La Cup is one of his nicknames. Zach La Cup. And a big shout out to his brother Dylan. He'd love to make the Olympic team. It all starts here, Zachary, right here, right now. Rounding the final corner, down the straightaway. Here comes Zachary Lacroix. His seed time is around 150 and change. He comes in at 155.77. In the 12th pairing in the inside lane from Alberta, Hobbs Holzer. And in the outer lane from the province of Quebec, Félix Larochelle.
Go to the start. Ready.
Unfortunately, down goes Félix Larochelle. So Hobbs Holzer will continue on his race, as will, looks like, Félix Larochelle. Understandable. Fell, get back up, keep going. Hopefully he's okay. Looks like he's okay. It happens. Holzer from Alberta. La Rochelle from Quebec. Well, it looks like Felix has pulled the pin and has left the ice and now moved into the warm-up, or the inner lane rather. So Holzer will finish this race all by himself from St. Albert, just outside Edmonton. The 1500 is one of his favorite races. I see Coach Todd McClements in the background as he goes down the backstretch. One of the things that he's working on is to make his starts faster. Coach Todd and Mike Ireland has assisted him as well over the years. He's got a bell lap. He wants to say hi to his family, Mom Misty, his dad Mark, and 6 brothers and sisters. There's 7 in total, including him. So that's the Holzer family. Is a big family. Big Thanksgiving dinner coming up, I'm sure. And when he's not skating, he loves to fish. Loves to catch pike and walleye. So Hobbs Holzer is heading down the straightaway to finish up this race solo in the 12th of 14 pairing.
Skaters, there'll be a short delay for ice repair.
Seed time was around 151 and change. He's very close to that, 152.96. We move to the 13th pairing in the inside lane. We're going to have an ice repair, so I'll hold off on the introductions. As you can see, one of the ice meisters heading down, working on the ice. I think this is a great opportunity for me to give a shout out one more time to those that work behind the scenes to make this event work extremely well, and I'll see if I can get a few out before the ice gets repaired. Meet coordinator Craig Plenard, who's no stranger to running excellent meets along with his team, so shout out to Greg Plenard. Timing and IT specialist John Little, who keeps it all running smoothly on the electronic side. Lead of competition, Dustin Miller. Assisting where he can is Sean Ireland, former long track speed skater. Comes from a lineage of speed skating family. The Ireland family from Manitoba, Sean Ireland, helping out up here. Referees, chief referee of the entire competition, Moika Stoffler from Saskatchewan, who's also refereeing the men, and Rick Hunt from Ontario refereeing the women, and Brent Thompson assisting both the men and the women as they are stationed throughout the oval strategically. You can't really see them, but they watch the event like hawks. Rona Hathaway, Dave Thompson, Bruce Thorpe, Eureka Boyce, Kendra Hawkins, and Werner Meyer round out the additional referees as I watch on the screen as they make sure that the ice is nice and cold and freezes, so it's safe and fast. Safe and fast because, after all, this is called speed skating. Starters for the women all week long, Mark Poulin, and for the men's, Blair Toblin, as they are international speed skating union starters. And the whistle has gone off, and more shout-outs later. Let me introduce to you the 13th pairing. In the inside lane from Saskatchewan, Daniel Pauly. And in the outer lane, also from Saskatchewan, Bon Lowe.
Go to the start. Ready.
That is a false start, and we're going to do that all over again.
False start, inner lane, not stable. Go to the start. Ready.
Good clean start in the second start in pairing number 13, the second last pairing of the men's 1500 meters. We will have awards presentation for the women's and the men's 1,500 meters. Following the men's 1,500 meters, down in the inside part of the track where you see the backdrop. Opening time for Bon Lo, 24:65. 24:82 for Danielle Pauly. Teammates at the Canada Winter Games. A couple of medals for Bon Lo. Got a silver in the team pursuit, as did Pauly. And Lowe, more of a long distance specialist, got a silver in the 5,000 meter. Looks like Pauly's out. I don't see him on the screen. I see Bon Lo with the red armband and the Saskatchewan colors. If Daniel's out there, I don't see him. No, he's moved off the race for some odd reason. I guess he fell, so thank you for that. Mike Dallaire on the webcast. Ton McClements has a hidden talent. He loves to cook, but he also loves to write music. It's a little something about Coach Todd that most people don't know, but now that I'm on the mic and it's on the webcast, now everybody knows. Here comes Bon Lo, 13 of 14 pairing, and Lo will cross the line by himself with a time of 1:56.25. The final pairing in the men's 1,500 meter at the Canadian Long Track Championships in the inside lane from the province of Quebec, Amy Perreault.
Go to the start. Ready.
So I invite everybody in this building to cheer on Amy Perreault as a second skater. One of the hardest things to do is to skate by yourself. You're not really competing against another skater. You're competing against your potential and the lowest time on the clock, but the other skater pushes you in Olympic-style skating. So Amy Perreault opens up his 3 3/4 lap with a 27:40 opener. And less than 3 laps to go for Amy Perreault from Quebec. So following the 1,500 meters and to complete day 3 of 4 days here in Calgary, we're going to have the medal presentation for the women's and the men's. 1,500 meters down at ice level inside the track. Tomorrow, we have the 1,000 meters, the second 1,000 meters for this meet, followed by what I refer to, or what others have referred to as NASCAR on ice, the mass start. Always exciting. That is a World Cup event. So you can anticipate World Cuppers who want to represent our country to be in that race. Yvonne Blondin on the women's side, Connor Howe, Hayden Mailleux, specialists, certainly enjoy the mass start race, and any others. There'll be 24 aside unless we have changes between now and then. The maximum you could put on the ice is 24. That's a lot of skaters. But boy, is it going to be fun. Crossing the line with a time of 1:54.89 would be Amy Perreault, and just above his seed time, about a second or so. So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the 1,500 meters. I'm going to head down to the inside of the track, catch up with the 3 podium finishers in the women's 1,500 and the men's 1,500, and we're going to hand out some medals. So thank you for being here at the Oval. Thank you for being on the webcast. Hope you enjoyed yourself, and we get to do it all over again one more time tomorrow, day 4, at the Canadian National Long Track Championships here at the Calgary Olympic Oval. Take a look at the screen for the times. Testing 1, 2. Testing out the mic. This is very good. Nice and sensitive. Awesome. Okay, Sean, you can turn the music down or off, actually. This is one of my favorite parts of the entire meet where I get an opportunity to announce the podium finishers that we got to display such amazing speed skating. This is the end of day 3 at the Canadian National Longue Championships here at Calgary, Alberta at the Olympic Oval. And I always say a big shout out to our sponsor, Intact Insurance, for all your insurance needs. Give Intact the business. What an exciting day. What a crazy day. I don't even know where to start. I'm just going to go right into, first of all, the 1,500 meter women's third, second, and first positions. So, ladies and gentlemen, a back-to-back. I believe she was third last year at the Canadian National Championships in this 1,500 meters, and she's third again in the same position from Quebec City with a time of 1:59.08. Give it up for Beatrice Lamarche. Handing out medals to our skaters is Wayne Canoe, a board of directors on Speed Skating Canada. Taking the second position back-to-back from last year with a time of 1:56.16 to go with her gold in the 5,000 meter and silver in the 3,000 meter. Give it up for Isabelle Weideman from Ottawa, Ontario. Vaulting all the way from 6th last year to the top position, having a really good championship with a silver medal in the 5,000 meter, a gold in the 3,000 meter, and a personal best in the 1,500 meter. This is awesome. Give it up for our gold medalist. It's not, correction, season's best, I stand corrected, with a time of 1:55.6. Valerie Malte. I thought I did my homework, but I'm going to go back and double check my work. Beatrice Lamarche, Isabelle Weideman, and Valerie Malte. First, second, and third 1,500 meters. We're going to hear more about these skaters throughout the season. Congratulations, ladies. Valerie Malte, stay right there. A quick couple questions. Let's stand right behind the number 1 position here. Hey, first of all, I messed up on your personal best. What is your personal best?
It's 1:55.37. That wasn't far.
Okay, 27/100ths of a second off your personal best. So you're having a fantastic meet. What's going on, Valerie?
I think I trained this summer. I'm for these Canadian Championship. I think last year, coming out from the Olympics, I think I didn't have like the perfect summer of training. Just like 4 years of really intense, and I think this summer the focus was really different and really on like what do I want to improve, and the 1,500 meter was something that I wanted to be back on the international level. So I'm hoping to build from that race today and just like get better from here.
I've heard it said many times before that champions are made in the off season. I think you're proving that to be true, aren't you?
I hope it's true. Yeah, I think I put on some good work this summer, and I think being in a new training environment in Quebec last year, and just I think we got to learn each other very well, and I think with Gregor and Monsef and all my teammates, we're working like really well together, and I think it's a really good and positive environment where everyone push each other, and like even with the Quebec team, with the youngest skater, it's really fun to just have this energy with everyone on the ice, and we just hope. I think also just a quick note for Zach that he's fine like after this whole crash day.
No question. Our hearts and thoughts go out to him. Well, your podium finishes are a great start to the season. I wish you all the best for the season ahead. I look forward to connecting with you throughout the year. Congratulations to our first place finisher, Valerie Malte. Thank you, Valerie. Now to the men's. Taking the third position, who I don't believe raced this last year. So moving from no position to the third position with a time of 1:44.66. From Montreal, Quebec. Would you give it up for a third place finisher, bronze medalist, David Laou? Again, handing out the medals is Wayne Canoe, Board of Directors member of Speed Skating Canada. In the second position, a position he held last year, back to back for this gentleman from Quebec City with a time of 1:43.82, Antoine Jelena Beaulieu. And to go with his gold medal this meet with the 1,000 meter, a silver medal in the 5,000 meter, cool, I can tell, standing about 8 feet away. Back-to-back winners from last year to this year with a time of 1:43.16. The pride and joy of Camrose, Alberta, as you know. Give it up. First place finisher, gold medalist, Connor Howe. David Larue, Antoine Jelena-Beaulieu, and Connor Howe. Congratulations, gentlemen. Well done. Picture time for those on the other side. Okay, Antoine just grew to 2 inches. Connor, let's have a quick conversation. First of all, I'm 6 feet 2 inches. How tall are you?
I'm like 6'4.5".
Is that common for a long track speed skater to be this tall?
Some are, I guess. It seems to be all over any height.
It doesn't really matter. Okay, what's going on? This is your third podium finish at the meet. I asked the same question to Valerie. What is happening? Obviously, whatever you're doing is working. What are you doing that's working?
I'm feeling really fit this time of the year after a good summer of biking and skating, and the technique is good too, so it's kind of coming together, I think.
And do you notice the difference between your training this summer versus the training in the summer of 2022?
Similar with the bike racing. I think I'm just it's kind of building up, so I'm got stronger sooner and can put that out on the ice a bit better.
What's the chatter about you having an eye on some Canadian record possibly that Denny holds from 2008? Was that in your mind today at all? Or do you have it in your mind? Well, certainly you'd probably have it in your mind at some point, but actually was it in your mind when you got to the start?
Yeah, I thought it might happen today. I was thinking about it. Maybe I was a bit tight at the start, trying to go faster than the one 2 weeks ago, but yeah, it wasn't quite there today, but I'm hoping it is sometime this year.
Give it up for our champion, 1,500 meters. Connor Howe, back-to-back champion this year. Great season ahead. All the best to you. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it for day number 3. Tomorrow morning, we start the 1,000 meters, the second of the 2, followed by NASCAR on ice, the mass start. Thank you for coming to the Oval, and thank you for being on the webcast. See you tomorrow. I'm told to get out of the way by Dustin Miller.